Hello students, welcome to the Obinsharan team. Today we'll be providing you audio notes of book 2 of Paradise Lost, that is written by John Milton. So in book 2 of Paradise Lost that is written by John Milton, it begins with Satan and his followers awakening in hell after their defeat in the war against God. I'll say it again. It begins with Satan and his followers awakening in hell after their defeat in the war against God. Satan is feeling humiliated and defeated, begins to plot his revenge against God. He calls a council of demons and proposes that they should continue their war against God and overthrow him from his throne. Some of the demons, including Mammon and Beelzebub, reject Satan's proposal, arguing that their rebellion against God had already failed once and that it would be futile to try again. Satan then decides to explore the newly created world of earth to see if there is any way he can harm God or his new creation, humanity. He makes his way through the gates of hell, which are guarded by sin and death, who are the offspring of Satan. Sin opens the gate for Satan, and he passes through them into chaos, where he travels for a while until he reaches the edge of the universe, where he finds the newly created world of earth. Satan, in the form of a cherub, watches Adam and Eve, the first human beings in the Garden of Eden. He is amazed by their beauty and perfection, but he also feels envy and resentment towards them for being God's favored creation. He decides to destroy them by tempting them to sin against God. Satan disguises himself as a serpent and enters the Garden of Eden. He finds Eve alone and convinces her to eat from the forbidden tree of knowledge, promising her that it will make her as wise as God. Eve, tempted by serpent's words, eats from the tree and then convinces Adam to do the same. As a result of their disobedience, they are banished from the Garden of Eden and are forced to suffer the consequences of their sin. The book ends with Satan returning to hell, where he is greeted as a hero by the other demons. He tells them of his success in tempting Adam and Eve to sin, but his victory is short-lived, as he is soon reminded that he is still in hell and that his rebellion against God has failed. Throughout the book too, Milton explores several themes, including the nature of temptation, the consequences of disobedience, and the relationship between God and his creation. One of the central themes of the book is this idea of free will and its consequences. Adam and Eve have the freedom to choose whether or not to obey God, and their decision to disobey him leads to their banishment from the Garden of Eden and their subsequent suffering. Similarly, Satan and the other fallen angels also had the freedom to rebel against God, and their rebellion has led to their eternal punishment in hell. Another important theme in the book is the idea of knowledge and its relationship to power. Satan is motivated by his desire for knowledge and power, and he tempts Eve with the promise of knowledge in order to gain power over her. However, Milton suggests that knowledge is not always a good thing, as it can lead to pride, disobedience, and suffering. Milton also explores the idea of hierarchy of creation, with God at the top, followed by the angels and then humanity. Satan's rebellion is ultimately a rejection of his hierarchy, as he seeks to overthrow God through his place as the most powerful being in the universe. However, Milton suggests that this is a flawed and dangerous idea, as it ultimately leads to destruction and suffering. Overall, in Book 2 of Paradise Lost sets the stage for the rest of the poem, establishing the central conflict between God and Satan and introducing key themes and motives that will be developed throughout the rest of the work.